It's gonna be an editing nightmare.
Why?
Because it's me and this is how I roll.
Is there just a lot of, like, outtakes?
The entire thing is basically one huge outtake. Hi, hello, welcome back. My name's Heather and this is the Fourth Star Knits podcast. You can find me on Ravelry as the Fourth Star, and you can find me on Instagram as the Fourth Star Knits, where I'm getting slightly better at posting. I'm also figuring out that sometimes when you send me messages, they go to like a separate secret inbox where I have to approve them. I'm still working on this. It's not that I haven't used Instagram before, it's just I haven't really cared about keeping up with it. And now I do because I want to chat with people. But yeah, I'm still getting the hang of things. So thank you for your patience, and thanks to everybody who has mentioned me in their stories or commented or given me a heads up about something cool they saw on Instagram. That's been super, super fun for me to like click on those things, and there's just been lots of good Instagram stuff going on lately. So thanks for that. Sorry. Of course I have something stuck in my teeth. Of course I do. And we're back. Sorry about that. Oh boy, the light's gonna be super funky today. It is, what day is it? It's November the 1st. Oh my goodness. So it is that fun time of year where like the clouds are going by really fast and the light is like in and out. And anyway, thanks for joining me today. Yeah, grab something yummy to drink and let's chat about knitting and stuff. I'm having Guinness because Guinness is my winter beer, and it is 30 degrees outside today Fahrenheit, so I'm gonna call it winter. Let's not even pretend that it's autumn anymore. We've just dove right in. I just want you all to appreciate how perfectly poured this Guinness is. This is one of my special talents, so yeah, I just wanted to brag about that. Okay, so I actually have a finished object this week, which I can't show you because I already gave it to the person. So I finished my Luminary Socks. I will insert a picture here for you so you can see them finished. You already saw the one finished before, so I promise the other sock looks exactly like the first one that I finished. Miracle, I know. But yeah, so I finished that, I don't know, before Halloween, and I mean, it was last week I finished it. And my boyfriend already dropped them off with his mom, and she has been wearing them every single day. So I'm gonna have to cast on another pair of socks for her very soon so that she has another pair of hand knitted socks to switch out. But yeah, they fit her perfectly. She really likes them. Score. So that's my finished object. Sorry, I didn't wait to show you, but it was more important that her feet be warm than for me to show off a sock that literally you saw its twin. So there's that. I have a lot of knitting stuff to talk about, you guys. I don't even know where to start. You know what? Let's dive into the thing that has really been on my mind. So first of all, I have a confession to make. I do not know how to read charts, okay? If you remember from my last podcast, I wanted to start the Clotilde, and I know one of you told me the right way to pronounce this. I know I'm pronouncing it wrong. I will revisit that comment, of course, right after this podcast. But the Clotilde cardigan, I was gonna start that. I don't even know where I put the pattern. Oh, here it is. Clotilde pattern from Knitting by Olive, or Knitting for Olive. So I printed out the pattern, and then I realized that I had gotten in way over my head. There's like, I don't even know how many chart patterns here. There's a whole bunch of them. There's a yoke chart and a sleeve chart and then some more charts. And I'm like, you know what? I just can't. And so I read through all of the directions like you're supposed to do. I read through the whole pattern. I looked at the charts and I realized that my intermediate knitting self was just I'm gonna get slaughtered by this pattern. So I have put it in my knitting folder and there it shall stay until I can try to learn some more about reading charts. So in that vein, I decided to cast on my Sedona Crop, okay? Partly because the yarn is so yummy and I just couldn't keep my hands off it any longer, but also because it's got charts, which I won't show because this is a paid for pattern, although I think you all have seen this sweater before. It's been everywhere. So I started working on this. I am using there's a YouTuber whose name I can't remember now, but I will put her name below, and she did a tech Sedona along video series, which has been super helpful. So I feel like once I'm done knitting this sweater, I will have a little bit better handle on how to do charts and how they repeat and things like that. Because this chart in this pattern is really clear and there are lots of online instructions about how to do this particular pattern. And this knit along is actually in my same size. I'm doing size 4, which is the medium, and this woman is all her videos are based on that size. So this is like, could not be more perfect for me to like learn how to do this. So I'll do this sweater and then I'll revisit this other one, and hopefully the charts won't kick my butt as much as I am terrified that they will. So I cast this on. I cast it on last night. So this is officially a whip, okay? And I'm not very far. I just finished the short row shaping and I've done just like a couple rounds of color work. But to be honest with you all, I had a really hard time putting this down in order to podcast today. Like I finally have some peace and quiet, so I need to take advantage of it or this is not gonna happen this week. Oh my gosh, can you guys hear the wind outside? Holy moly. Anyway, but I see now what a lot of you have said before about, color work yokes going really fast because you just can't wait to get to the next round. That is such a big mood right now for me. I feel that in my bones. This was really hard to put down. So anyway, I am going to pick this up again as soon as I'm done with this podcast, probably even before I finish editing. You guys might have to wait for this podcast for a few days. I don't know, we'll see. So yeah, so that's how far I am. This yarn is by Beehive Yarns. This is the green color that's in there that I have not, this is actually why I had to stop, because I made balls out of the other ones, but I neglected to do this one, and this is actually the next color I need. So I need to wind this up. I wind all of my, I think I talked about this before, but I don't believe in yarn cakes. So I have to wind them by hand, which is a process, but it's worth it, I promise. Otherwise it irritates me the whole time. But so let me just talk, and here you can see, can you guess what I'm gonna talk about next? Can you see all this? This is not because I've been gardening, okay? It's from this yarn here. So this is Beehive Yarns, and this is the colorway Cemetery Gates, and it's like this great purpley gray black tonal. It's awesome, it's soft, it's like, it is knitting up so beautifully. It is getting gray dye all over everything. So I am now terrified that this is going to, like when I soak this puppy, so here's all the colors in the sweater, right? So I'm not too worried about this, right? If we get some bleed onto this, it's not gonna be the end of the world. And even this, not gonna be the end of the world. But this puppy here has a lot of cream in it. And there's a lot of the chart. There's a lot of the chart as I'm looking at it where it's these two colors together, which are gonna look fabulous. But if this bleeds all over this, you guys, I'm so nervous. So, okay, I guess this is a question for, and you guys have not failed me yet on any question I've asked you. I love you all for this. So let me put this to the group. If you have this problem, okay, especially if you are a yarn dyer, which I'm not, so I don't know anything about the chemistry behind all of this magic here. What do I do? Should I should I have like washed? If you get a really dark colorway like this, like, do you wash it first? Like, I mean, I can't wash it now. It's all in a ball and I don't know how to put this back in a hank, at least not without getting a huge, like, messy rat's nest. I don't know. I'm super nervous. I think I'm gonna keep going with the color work, but I'm really curious and I'm just gonna hope to God that it does not bleed all over everything. But seriously, I've been knitting for maybe 30 minutes here with it, and look at how much. Can you see all of that? I mean, those shadows are not from rings. That's from the yarn being wound around my fingers. I feel like that's a lot of dye to come off just from rubbing on my hands. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm hoping some or any of you will know what do I do? Okay, so that's that. That's the Sedona Crop. And that is my issue there. I have a lot of issues with my knitting this week, I'm not gonna lie. So just buckle up. Oh, and this next one, oh my gosh, you guys. So you all will remember, or maybe you won't. If you're new to this podcast, first of all, welcome. Second of all, just be advised, a lot of this podcast involves me laughing at myself about the stupid knitting mistakes that I make, and I make a lot of them. So we all laugh about it together, and then in the comments, the knitting community rallies around me and tells me where I have gone wrong and how I can fix it. So that's basically the gist of this podcast, is how I've screwed up and how I should fix it. So in the spirit of that, again, if you've been watching this podcast, you know what I did to my rift sweater with the tiny sleeve. Okay. So I took the plunge and I ripped out the sleeve. So I ripped out the sleeve, I took the plunge. Okay, so here's the good sleeve that I did. And the other one was like really tiny. It was like that big around. That, right? Okay, so I took the plunge. One of you said just to grab a drink and take the plunge and rip it out. So I did that. I had finished the sweater. So I didn't have a lifeline or anything like that. I just had to rip it back. It was such a disaster, you guys. I can't even tell you. I was sitting at the kitchen table and I was just ripping it back, and it was just this big snarly. It didn't matter where I started to unpick it. It was just a mess. So I finally got it ripped back. Now I've got this. Guys, it's so bad. I don't even know how to fix this now. So I started to put the stitches back on needles, and I know the more I mess with this, the worse it gets, but at this point, I just don't even care. The sleeve is I don't think there's hope for this, you guys. So it's like this undersleeve tab. I don't know how to fix this. And then it's doing weird things I don't know. How did I do this wrong? When you're ripping a sleeve back that's been picked up, which I've never had to do, because this is the first time that I have ever knit one sleeve ridiculously smaller than the other. I don't even know how I did this, but I feel Okay, so let me show you this part here, because this is like where it's super confusing. You see how this looks right here? Doesn't this look like these are the stitches that got picked up off of the side and then were knit this way? But they're not. Like, I keep ripping this back thinking that I'm gonna get to a row where all of the stitches are, you know, all the loops are straight up and then I can just pick them up. And that never happens. They're just this wonky sideways disaster. And I just keep ripping back and ripping back. And now I'm to a point where like, I just don't even know, I don't know like where I would start again in the pattern. It's terrible, guys. It's terrible. I don't know. This was supposed to be a beginner sweater. It was supposed to be so easy. How did I mess this up? Anyway, so that's a project that I need to pick up again. So, but yeah, any feedback on how I can avoid that in the future would be fantastic. Because I've been looking at like tutorials on how to, you know, rip back and pick things up, and it just nothing looks like what, you know, this complete abomination that I created. So I don't know. I might just have to rip this whole thing out and start over. I might just do that. And I might just knit the whole thing in a bigger size. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. Guys. Oh my goodness. So that's my other, it was a finished object just for a brief, beautiful moment in time. And now it's not. Now it's back to being a whip, and a frustrating whip at that. So, oh guys, I have to show you what's going on here. You see this blanket? This is an electric blanket. It's huge. It covers like my whole body. It's so awesome. So for those of you who don't know, I have hypothyroidism, and part of what this does to me, and somebody commented that this might happen. You were totally right. I cannot regulate my own body temperature, like at all. So in the summer, you'll see I'm just like, oh my God. Like I can't handle the heat. And now that it's like, you know, it's 30 degrees outside, it's 68 in my house. Like that's not unreasonable. I'm reasonably dressed for 68 degrees. But when I'm sitting here, I have to be under an electric blanket or I am dying of cold, like physically shaking. It's gonna be a long winter, you guys. This is the first winter that I've gone through in the Midwest where I've had this condition. So I'm really not excited to see like how miserable I can become, because it's gonna be, I have a feeling it's gonna be another really cold winter. So anyway, I digress. Back to the whips. So I've been working on my Close to You shawl. I've been trying to get things off the needles. So I really only have I've got 3 like older projects that are on the needles. I have the Close to You shawl, which I'm making really good progress on. So I've been knitting on this guy while we started a new show, and so I've had time to like really work on this. And yeah, I just love how this is coming out. And this was a commenter's or a subscriber's suggestion to do this shawl. And I can't remember who you are, but thank you. This was a great suggestion because I'm just loving it. This is a bamboo blend yarn. I think it's by Peace Fibers. I honestly can't remember. It's so soft, you guys. Bamboo yarn, I love it. I'm really, really excited to see how this blocks up. Anyway, what I was saying is this, I did kind of a more open gauge because this was intended to be more of like a spring summer shawl. It's not spring or summer now, obviously, but that's kind of why I was doing it like that. I think these were supposed to be knit on much smaller needles. And also I just liked the color of this needle, the contrast with this yarn, rather than the right size needle. I don't know if that makes any sense to anybody, but there you go. That was my reasoning, like it or no. But yeah, so I think I was somewhere in here last time, and so I made a good chunk of progress on it. I should move my progress keeper up. So that's that. I'm working on getting that off the needles, and then after that I think I'm going to finish off the Melinda shawl that I was working on, which I have Yeah, balls of yarn going everywhere, you guys. Oh my gosh. So this is my Melinda shawl that I've been working on. I'm getting ready to start a new garter section, and both of these are free patterns, by the way, so if you're interested in either of these, and they're one skein shawl patterns. This one I'm really I cast on this one after I finished the Raina shawl because it was sort of similar with the yarn overs and stuff. I put this on straight needles to just kind of hang out for a while because I was just not digging the process. Like this yarn is like okay. This is a yarn that I picked up from the thrift store, and it's good quality. I'm pretty sure it's even got like some cashmere in it, but I just was not, I don't know, I just wasn't into it like the way it was feeling. So but I really like the colors. It's gonna be really pretty. I just need to get in the mood for this again and finish it up. So I'm working on it. All right, let's see. What else am I working on? Oh, my Felix pullover. Let me show you. So this happens to me a lot, especially with sweaters, and especially something that I've cast on because I'm really into like the yarn or something like that. I get to the point where I'm coming down the home stretch with like sleeves or whatever, and I just stop because I subconsciously don't want the project to end. I did this with the last sweater that I made too. I don't know what my problem is with this, but I'm getting really close on this one. So I finished, hold on, this is big. This is a meaty boy sweater. I don't know why I had to say it like that. I'm sorry, you guys. I apologize for my weird voices. So, this is the front. Like, look at how like pretty this yarn is. This is just exactly the sweater that I wanted to make right now in the fall when, like, I think I talked about this in my last podcast, but like there's certain like seasonal sensory experiences that I want to have, and this time of year I want to work with like really rustic woolly wool. Like I want it to be hairy and scratchy and have pieces of straw in it, and I want it to smell like sheep, and this is doing all that for me. So I'm making this out of Let Lopi, which I know a ton of people knit with, and yeah, I'm really liking it. And this was relatively inexpensive. I think this whole sweater is going to cost me like $45 US, which is pretty outstanding, I think, especially for, you know, natural fibers and stuff like that. But yeah, really into it. Sorry for the crinkling. Put that down so I don't do that anymore. So yeah, so I finished. I've knit down to the body. I did not do the tubular bind off. I just couldn't be bothered. I did do the tubular cast on, which is giving it a lot of stretch. And I like that. I think this is going to be it's going to end up being a little bit of a wider neck, which I like for something like this because I'm normally wearing something underneath it, and so I like that something to peek out, especially if it's got a cute collar. And yeah, I've divided for the sleeves, and this one I'm just picking up the stitches for the sleeves, and yeah, this is like where I lost my steam right there. You can see exactly where it happened. I was picking up stitches and I was like, oh, I'm coming to the end. Like, it'll be ready to wear soon. I'm not ready for it. Like, of all the dumb things, I don't know. I have issues. But actually, now that I'm holding this up, I'm actually really excited to wear this. I think it will look really cute with this shirt, actually. So maybe I'll just finish it. Because here's the thing that I never seem to remember. It's like, if I finish a project, I can always start another one. Like, I don't know why I keep forgetting that. Like, I feel like if I cast something off that, like, it's, you know, I'll never have that experience again. Like, why am I like this? I don't know. Just add it to the list of issues that I probably need therapy for. Oh, I think I showed you last time, or I talked last time about there being, like, little pieces of, like, straw and stuff in here. And I've just been, like, knitting it into the fiber because, I don't know. It'll come out in the wash, I know, but like, There's another one. There's just like there were little pieces of straw in the wool. I mean, doesn't get much more rustic than that, I don't think, but anyway, yeah, very pleased with this sweater. It came together really, really fast. So if you're looking for a really quick, easy, you know, mostly stockinette type knit that you can just like, you know, and you could sub any kind of yarn for this. You could do, this would actually probably be really cute with fingering weight held double and a strand of mohair. That would probably be really cute and make it really fuzzy because there's just not a lot going on here. So if you really want to showcase some yarn, this would be, you know, a great way to do that. So anyway, that's that sweater. Hopefully that'll be a finished object by next time. So I have cast on another sweater in my head. I bought yarn for it. And this happened because, so if I didn't say before, I live in Chicagoland. I'm not in the city proper, but I live right outside of it. So here in Chicago, we call like the general, like kind of southern Lake County and Cook County, we just call that Chicagoland because everything revolves around Chicago here. Anyway, oh, sounds like one of the boys is up. What was I saying? Oh my gosh, the brain fog, you guys. Oh, that's right. I bought yarn. Oh my god. So one of our local dyers here in the Chicagoland area, her name's April, and her yarn company is called Direful Yarn, and it's really cute. Her little saying is a scary story in every skein. And if you go on her website, which I will link below, you have to just go look at her yarns. First of all, they're really yummy. I've used them in a couple of different projects now. I had not heard of her before I had visited my not so local yarn store called Elgin Knitworks. It was actually my boss, who's also my knitting friend. She introduced me to this store, which I just love, and that's where they carry this yarn, and that's how I found it. Anyway, I digress. But so I signed up for her email list, and she did a flash sale. And I have been really wanting to use her yarn in a sweater. So first, let me show you the sweater. This is a paper pattern. It's called City Limits by Tanis Levalle. Okay, and so you can kind of see in this picture, see how there's like a really cool fade here. So this is what I got. Oh my gosh, see, I still have black on my hand. I'm not exactly sure how I'm gonna do this, but loosely my plan is this. So I bought 2 skeins of every one of these colors, except for one because she only had one left, but I just loved the colorway so much I had to buy it. Anyway, so this was loosely my plan. So this is the darkest color. This is called Ravenwood. And these 2 skeins are very different from one another. One is much darker. It's not showing up too much. Well, there you can kind of see. One is much darker than the other. So putting these together is gonna be fun. So this is a worsted weight pattern, or the pattern calls for worsted weight. Come on, Heather, you could do this. The pattern calls for worsted weight. So my plan was to hold fingering weight double. So there's this one. And then there's this one, which is called Dark Magic. So I was gonna like go from this one to transition to this one, which I know is gonna be a big transition, but I think with this color at the bottom of the sweater, it's gonna kind of weight it down a little bit and it'll kind of look like a border. I don't know. So this one to this one. And then I have, or what I might do is this one to this one. This one is called Camp Crystal Lake. And so Crystal Lake is a suburb really far north in Illinois. And actually that's where my kid's dad lives. So that's where my kids end up a lot. So I was thinking, so maybe like this to this one. I don't know, you guys can tell me what you think. Oh my gosh, this is so much yarn. And then I got this one, which I don't know if this is gonna fit in the sweater or not, but I just love this colorway so much. This one's called Trick or Treat. This is a Halloween yarn. But it's got quite a bit of like blues and grays in it. So I thought that that would be kind of a cool transition. So maybe something like this. I don't know. It's gonna look a little crazy, but I don't know. I'm just gonna roll with it because we've got lots of browns and blues, and then this one's got some hints of like, or some pops of like really like almost a neon purple, which is kind of cool. So this, and then the last one is this yarn here, which is the one she only had one skein of, so there's not gonna be a whole lot of this in the sweater. So I'll probably start the sweater with this one, maybe with these two held together. But this is called Hippogriff, which, you know, you guys all know by now, me and Harry Potter. Oh, one of you mentioned that me talking about being an older millennial reminded you of Eliza, is it Schlesinger? I can't remember the name of the comedian, but she does this skit called Elder Millennial. Yes, that is all 100% me. Like, I think me and Eliza are actually the exact same age because I think we're both like almost the oldest millennial that you can be. So, yeah, anyway. Yeah, it's funny. So I'm a millennial and my kids are Gen Z. So like it's kind of like this funny, we joke about it a lot of times in my house. Although they, you know, I say stuff sometimes and they will okay boomer my butt. Like, can you believe that? I'm like, I'm not even Gen X, much less a boomer. I'm a millennial. I'm still cool. Like, how can you, I don't know. They know it really drives me crazy though, which is, I'm sure why they do it, you know. That's why teenagers do anything, right? Is to drive their parents crazy. But anyway, so that's gonna be the city, I had to remind myself the name of the pattern. Wow. The City Limit sweater. Yeah, so I'll probably cast that on. We'll see. We'll see how confident with chart reading the Sedona Crop makes me, and if I'm feeling really confident, because that Clotilde sweater, and I know I'm saying that wrong, I know it, I will fix it next time, I promise. It's like a bulky weight sweater, so it's gonna knit up really quick, which is why I wanted to just like, I wanted to do that in the fall, because wouldn't it be nice to have like a big bulky weight new sweater like cardigan to wear, and it was gonna be such a quick knit, and I did not know that the pattern was not gonna like hold my hand through that at all. I'm still learning all the time. I've said this before, but I am an intermediate knitter at best. So, in keeping with that, I'm gonna struggle with things like reading lace charts. And actually now I realize, like, so this Sedona Crop chart is a color chart. It's not a lace chart, but I'm assuming like the way that charts repeat and the way you read them is the same. At least that's what I've come to understand so far. So I'm hoping that this works out. It might not. And you know what? That's okay too. It'll just be more of my knitting mess ups that we can laugh about together. I do have one more. It's going to be a whip. So I'll show it to you so you can see, because I think next time I'll have it cast on. And you can tell me what you think about this color selection for this pattern. So I had bought a collection of Helen Stewart socks called the Handmade Sock Society number 3. I don't know, it was an ebook. It had a bunch of patterns in it, a bunch of sock patterns. And so I had made the Luminary Socks, and I'm going to cast on the ambient socks next for my boyfriend's mom, and I'm going to use this yarn here. And this is a skein that I bought from Flock Dye Works, who I just randomly found on Etsy because they were having a sale, and I just fell in love with some of the colors, and I thought this would be really, really fun for this pattern. So yeah, so I'm gonna cast on the ambient socks with this, I think, because I really want to knit my boyfriend's mom another pair since she liked the other one so much, and now that I know that this type of sock fits her foot really well, I want to cast on another one for her so she has another pair, since yeah, they seem to work really, really well for her. And she has such small feet. Honestly, it's really quick to knit her socks. So I did not work anymore on the socks I'm making for my friend Brian. The pattern was the Husband's Favorite by Twin Stitches. And I know, really? And I know I need to finish those, but I think I'm going to run out of yarn and I'm not really sure what to do about it. So I was gonna stop the first sock where it is right now and try to, sorry, I'm winding a ball of yarn while I talk. I'm gonna try to start the second sock and see if I can sort of figure something out so that hopefully I can get as far on the second sock as I am with the first sock. And if I need to sub in another color to stretch the colors that I have or something, at least it will happen at the same point in the sock, if that makes sense. Yeah, I really did not think about the fact, I'm so used to knitting socks for women, and I just don't knit a lot of men's socks. And I knew in my head that like, you can't really just use one skein of fingering weight yarn usually for like decent sized men's socks. I knew that, but I did not plan accordingly. So there's that. Okay, so some quick admin notes. A few months ago, I had done a giveaway and I drew a winner, and I have not heard from this person, and there's been no way to contact her. So I said in, I can't remember my last podcast or two podcasts ago, that if I didn't hear from the person by October 31st, that I was going to draw a new name. So it is November 1st and I have not heard from this person. So I'm going to draw another name. So I have my little random comment picker thing up here, and let's just click and see who this is. So the winner is Sweater Weather, a knitting podcast. Oh, this is cool. This is a podcaster. Awesome. Okay, well, this is cool. So then I'll be able to comment on one of their videos and let them know they won instead of just hoping that they watched this particular part of my show. Okay, so Sweater Weather, a knitting podcast, said, oh, so you had to put the name of a book, like your favorite book. Because I was looking for more things to add to my never-ending TBR list, apparently. So they said, just found your podcast and I'm really enjoying it. Earlier this month, I read The Other Misses by Mary Kubica. Great thriller. Nice. I don't read a lot of thriller books. Maybe I'll have to put this one on my list. The Other Misses. Sounds juicy, right? So anyway, congratulations to Sweater Weather, a knitting podcast. Please get a hold of me. You can email me at thefourthstarknits@gmail.com. I'll put the email right here, but I'm also going to check out your podcast first of all, and I'm going to comment on one of your videos so that you know that you won. So someone gets this awesome prize that I have sitting back here. It's been sitting here for like 2 months. Yeah, I'm not going to show all the prizes again. I showed the prizes in, I think, episode 6. If I'm wrong about that, I'll correct it down below, but there you go. Okay, admin notes complete. So that's pretty much it for the crafty content, the yarn and knitting goodness. So if you are not here for the chatty Cathy portion of the show, catch you later. If you do want to stick around, we'll talk about what I'm reading, what I'm watching, and just general chit chat, I guess. So guys, the Outlander series. So I'm almost done with book number 1. I did not recall this series being quite so steamy. So I read book 1 before, but there's some scenes in it, like I can feel my face flushing just thinking about them, because I'm not a terrible prude. I'm really not. Like I don't know. I get embarrassed easy, I guess. But anyway, very steamy, very steamy. There have been several times I've been listening here, like while I'm knitting, and like I don't always have headphones on, and I'll just be like, pause, when I hear the voice coming in. It's like, I don't need them to walk in on certain moments, but yeah, I don't know if I just blocked it from my memory or what it would. I mean, it's not bad. It's just I didn't remember it. And so it kind of caught me off guard. I don't read romance novels like ever. I have read other series where there's some steamy scenes, but usually it's part of the plot, and it's not so, it's not like this. So for those of you who have finished the series already, are they all like this? I mean, not that I mind, I don't think. I just kind of want to be prepared. I don't know. I just like, I don't read romance novels, so like some of the stuff was just like, it caught me off guard. So anyway, I'm still working my way through that. I'm still trying to finish the last book in the Queen's Thief series, which I am not enjoying, so I'm just like slogging my way through it. I'm so disappointed with this one. But, you know, that's the way it goes sometimes. Sometimes you wait 20 years for a series to be completed and it lets you down. So anyway, I don't know. I'm not completely done with it. So maybe the end will be like, will make up for everything that I'm going through right now in the book. Maybe it won't. I don't know. I will update you as events warrant. We finished watching The Designated Survivor, which ends after season 3. And it just ends, like it doesn't wrap up, it just stops because the series doesn't get picked up. I think, did I talk about this before? I might have. It's super unsatisfying. So just be advised, if you fall in love with the show, yeah, you are just gonna wonder forever what happens with certain things, and you will never know because Netflix didn't continue to make the show, which is a huge bummer. So we started watching The Queen's Gambit, which is a show on Netflix about a woman who's a chess player. And it goes through her journey of discovering chess and becoming, you know, I don't know, a champion chess player. But it's not so much about that. That's just kind of the framework within, which is that her character development happens within. But it's really about her character and like the stuff that she's been through. It's really, really, really good. Absolutely love this actress. I'm pretty sure she plays the American wife in Peaky Blinders. And if you haven't seen Peaky Blinders, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So I don't get celebrity, I'm just gonna like, this is the chatty portion. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go off on a tangent here. I don't get a lot of celebrity crushes. I have a ridiculous celebrity crush on Cillian Murphy. Is that his name? I can't remember his name and I have a crush on. Hold on. I have to fix this. I have to fix this right now. Okay, sorry, this is gonna seem a little disjointed because people keep walking in and stuff, so it's really hard to get like an hour or so of like uninterrupted time in my house. But anyway, so I think I was talking about the Outlander. No, I was talking about Cillian Murphy and having a massive crush on him from Peaky Blinders. So I will insert a photo here so that you can appreciate how enormously good looking this gentleman is. But yeah, I have a huge crush on him. I'm not sure how I got from Outlander to... Oh, I was talking about watching The Queen's Gambit and how the lady who plays Beth Harmon in The Queen's Gambit, the chess lady, she plays the American wife of one of the Peaky Blinders. So, and Cillian Murphy is in Peaky Blinders, and I have a crush on him. There. It has all come full circle. Yay for me. You know, I had a question about what I do for work from a podcast, a couple of podcasts ago. So, let me see how I can best describe this. So I work for a pretty large non-for-profit, and I work in the facilities and construction group. In my previous life, I was a mechanical contractor, and this non-for-profit was my client, and they convinced me to come work for them full-time to manage all of their mechanical, electrical, and plumbing projects. And we have many, 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 many buildings, and a lot of them are very old. And by old, I mean well over 100 years old. And so there's a lot to do on the facilities and construction side. And my particular specialty is in steam boilers. And if you are not in a major city of the Midwest, this is probably not a heating system that you are familiar with. Most people, when they think of boilers, they think of hot water, but back in the 1800s, early 1900s, and up even through, like, I would say 1950s, steam was really the way to go. So we have these ginormous old boilers here, I actually was just looking, and the oldest working boilers that I have right now in one of my facilities were installed in 1899. Pretty incredible, and they're probably going to need to get replaced in the spring, unfortunately. So that little piece of history will be gone. But so that's how I ended up working for this particular non-for-profit, just because HVAC is kind of one specialty, but within HVAC, specializing in steam and vintage steam systems or antique steam systems, it's kind of like a really niche. But that's pretty much the bulk of what I do. And I do stuff with modern systems, hydronics, forced air. Obviously I work on the air conditioning side too, with chillers and all that good stuff. And then, like I said, I do electrical and plumbing as well. So any of those major projects which come up, which they do often because their buildings are old, so there's always more and more projects to do. I love learning about the history of steam. One of my favorite things is when I meet somebody who's been around for a long time, like especially folks who are like in their mid to late 70s, early 80s, because they have so much history to share. And a lot of this stuff is passed down verbally. And so if you aren't, collecting that knowledge and retaining it and passing it on, a lot of this stuff is just getting lost. So I spend a lot of time reading steam books that were initially published in the early 1900s, because those are the systems that we still have. But yeah, it's a really interesting, unique job, and I really love it. And I'm incredibly blessed that this job even exists, because it is so very, very specific. I love what I do. The people I work with are great, and yeah, it's fun. So yeah, that's what I do. If you want to see, I actually have an Instagram account for my my work-related stuff, and it's called Boiler Lady. So if you are interested in seeing lots of photos of antique steam systems in and around Chicago, I doubt there's very much crossover between people whose interests lie in knitting and people who are interested in vintage steam system. But if you are that person, there's an Instagram account for that. So somebody's singing in the background. Yeah, so that was, I think, the only question that I got recently. I'm not caught up on comments, as you have probably noticed if you have commented, and I have not responded to. I have read everything. I read them as they come in, but I don't always have time at that moment to respond. So I'm getting better with that, and allocating time during the week to read that stuff and respond to it, because I do really, really enjoy it. It's like one of the highlights of my week when I have a little bit of time to just read through comments and respond, and go on Instagram and see what everybody's working on and stuff. So yeah, I really, really enjoy that. Are you gonna be up making noise?
Reveal the location of the Halloween candy.
Are you talking to Alexa, or are you talking to me?
You.
Oh, I don't know where the Halloween candy is.
That is a lie. And I know when you're lying, because you have a certain thing to your voice.
Okay, so it is a lie, but also not a lie, because I did hide the Halloween candy, but I don't remember where. So it's only sort of, I knew at one time, I do not now. Sorry. Try up in the cupboard where I normally hide the candy.
I did try that.
Oh. Then I don't know. I guess we're both SOL now if we want candy. So anyway, I think that's just about all I have for you for this week. yeah, nothing too much else exciting going on. Just, you know, Halloween came and went, and now it's time to take down all the Halloween decorations and put up the Thanksgiving ones. And that's about all she wrote. So I hope you're all having a great couple of weeks. Hopefully I will see you in another week or 2 weeks. And until then, I hope you are staying safe and staying strong. And yeah, I'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.
I'm thinking it's a sign. The freckles in our eyes are mirror images. In wine we case, they're perfectly